You've been told skipping breakfast is dangerous and fasting ruins your metabolism. But what if everything you've heard is wrong and the truth could actually transform your energy, focus, and your body? What is actually intermittent fasting? Well, intermittent fasting is where you take a break from eating. So let's say instead of eating breakfast at 8 o'clock, you could either delay it back or you could just skip breakfast depending on what you prefer. For my intermittent fasting period, what I do is I don't eat breakfast. Now, see, me personally, I used to be the person that used to be like, yes, breakfast is the best meal of the day. Breakfast is so important. No, I would always eat breakfast, always have breakfast cereal. I used to think that if you didn't have it, you would be hungry all day and you'd be sleepy and you won't have energy. I thought all that stuff. Then I got introduced to intermittent fasting. I've been on intermittent fasting for a year and a half now. At the start, in the first couple of weeks, it might be a little bit uncomfortable being hungry for a little bit of time. Here's what I recommend. I recommend you do something. So let's say you didn't eat breakfast and now you go to work. When you focus on your work, you won't feel hungry anymore because you're focusing all your attention on the work, so you don't really feel that you're starving and you're hungry. It will help a lot, and it doesn't have to be only with work, it could be with anything else. So maybe you're focusing on building a Lego set or something, or focusing on doing gardening, for example. When you focus on the thing, you won't feel hungry anymore. When you're hungry, you think, oh, I need to eat now. Well, you can survive with no food for a couple of weeks, so you not eating for a couple of hours will be completely fine. You might just be a little bit uncomfortable. I'm not saying fast water, that is a bad idea. You really need water. I wouldn't fast on water especially for a long period of time, because you can't survive more than a week without water. When you fast, you still do get all the calories that you do need in a day. You do get enough calories to energize you and make you move and perform in a day. It could be over 2 meals. Let's say you don't do breakfast, you do lunch and dinner. That's fine. You get rid of some calories in the morning, either having bigger 2 meals, or you could just delay your breakfast a little bit to make your metabolism work even more, so you actually burn some more fat. What are the pros of intermittent fasting? Well, number one is the weight loss. Because you're getting rid of one meal, you're getting less calories. And also, if you delay that one meal more, it gives more time for your metabolism to work and get rid of some fat. Improved insulin sensitivity. Intermittent fasting might enhance onto insulin, potentially lowering blood sugar levels and lowering the risk of type 2 diabetes. It also helps your brain learn, helps with memory. Intermittent fasting also helps with lower your blood pressure, improve cholesterol levels, and reduce inflammation. So it can also increase your lifespan. It also helps with your digestive system, also gives it some more time to digest the stuff that you ate before. And what I noticed was I had better focus, mental clarity. I was just performing better in work. I did longer work sessions. So those are some benefits that you can get. And here are the cons, this bad thing about intermittent fasting. Obviously, the hunger and being uncomfortable and the irritation from being hungry. It can be hard to manage and kind of get over it if you're not used to being hungry all the time. And also, this could be kind of hard to do long term, especially for some people who are irritated by the hunger side and feeling uncomfortable by being hungry. Because you're getting rid of some meals, you can also not have as good a diet and not get all the nutrition needed, but also that does depend on your diet and what you're eating. Because you're not eating as much, it could potentially have an effect on your physical ability. Because you're not eating as much, you're not getting enough energy. You might have lower energy during those intermittent fasting periods, so if you're working out during that, you might have not as much energy, but you will also be more focused. Here are some potential side effects of intermittent fasting. Some people can get headaches, have trouble sleeping, have digestive problems, and some people might feel lightheaded because intermittent fasting. If that is you, I'm not quite sure if you should really do it, or maybe what you should do is not cut out a meal. Maybe you just delay that meal by an hour or two. And also, some side effects could vary depending on the person and their medical conditions. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, so if you're feeling some side effects from doing this, obviously consult a doctor and they'll be able to help you out with that. If you've got medical conditions, you might want to consult your doctor about doing intermittent fasting or fasting for a period of time. This wouldn't be good for people who are pregnant and breastfeeding, so there are some times you don't want to be intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting doesn't have to be a permanent thing. You could kind of cycle on and off depending on what you're doing. Let's say you want to lean down a bit and get rid of some weight for a bodybuilding competition, or just because you want to get rid of some weight. It can be good, but you don't have to do it all the time. You can cycle on and off. If you want to, you could maybe do intermittent fasting for 3 days a week, or set out an intermittent fasting for a couple of days a week. However you want to do it, obviously, whatever is best for you would be the best option on how you're doing intermittent fasting. It does vary between your tolerance for being hungry and also if you have some side effects. It does take a little bit of time to get the benefit. I'm not quite sure about what the exact time is, but the time that I found the benefit came in was about 2 weeks. Short-term pain for long-term gain.